I think you have to recognise that however difficult it is, when you say something like there are no words, or you say nothing, you're essentially not acknowledging what's happened. And that, for someone who's going through loss, is really hard, particularly if it's people they know. And I found that phrase, there are no words, really difficult to deal with, because I felt it was not acknowledging what had happened. You know, I haven't lost my dog here. I've lost my wife. And more importantly, I've lost the mother to my son. There are no words. That's not really acknowledging what's happened. And if you can't find the words, I think sometimes we want to be a bit clever. We want to find something really deep and meaningful to say. You just have to understand at that point, there's probably nothing meaningful you can say that's going to help. It's just about knowing that you're not alone. So just saying, and I understand for people listening to this right now, they go, that sounds so kind of inadequate. But just saying, I'm so sorry for what's happened, for your loss, to hear about Gemma, is everything. You know, it's a simple act of reaching out, and you are acknowledging what's happened. And that is really, really important. You know, I found one woman in particular, I tell in the book, I won't use the language here, not just because it's Premier Radio, but anywhere in broadcasting. But yeah, I tell the story in the book. The kind of woman who nailed it was stood in a coffee shop in Caversham where we live. And I realised as I stood there in the queue, I think I kind of recognised I couldn't place her. And in the end, she turned around and said, "Hi, you might not know me, but I was one of the mums at Ethan's nursery. I knew Gemma." I was like, "Oh, that's where I know you from." And she just said, "I am so, so sorry for what's happened. It's just swear word, another swear word." And in that moment, she absolutely nailed it, because what had happened to Gemma was all those words. And I'm not advocating that in terms of, you know, reaching out to the bereaved, that you turn the air blue, but she nailed the pain of what that felt like. But when other people just say, "Oh, there are no words," well, no, she found them. It may not be the words you choose, but she found them. And it's so important to know that you're not on your own, that what has happened is being acknowledged. I found it really difficult at New Wine last year. You know, we went back, and it was really hard, because it's one of those moments in the year, you know, have those regular things you do every year, and when they come out or along again, you drive back into New Wine or Glastonbury, that's happening, you know, as we speak at the moment. You have that kind of, how's that a year, you know? And we were back there, how's that a year? And yet everything has changed in the last year. And yet I'd be bumping into some old friends who I don't see apart from at New Wine every year, just the usual yearly catch-up. How's your year been? Blah, blah. And 9 out of 10 of those conversations, I did count, 9 out of 10 of those conversations, the people I spoke to never acknowledged what had happened. Now, I get that 7 or 8 months on from losing Gemma, probably they were a bit like, what on earth do you say 7 or 8 months? It sounds a bit silly now to say I'm so sorry. But actually, even all those months on, if you've not seen them, that's absolutely fine. And that's enough, because you're just acknowledging that life has changed. And yet they were talking to me like literally nothing had happened. Like it'd always been just me and Ethan turning up at New Wine. And like, where, you know, what group's he in this year? And whereabouts are you camping? Oh, we're in Orange 5. Oh, we're in Orange 5. We'll come and say hello. And you sort of walked away going, my world's just totally changed. The world as it was 12 months ago as a New Wine is now vastly, vastly different. And yet you just talked to me like nothing ever happened. And that's hard for bereaved people when it's not. It's acknowledging it. That's the most important thing. And I do make the point about emojis at the back, because I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm really sorry to break it to you folks, but if you are trying to get alongside someone who has lost a loved one, a praying hands emoji or a tear face emoji does not cut the mustard. And I'm quite, it doesn't. I get why it happens. We live in emoji culture now, but it's hopelessly inadequate. I'm really sorry to say.